Hey everyone, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. This is the Great Western Railway on one of our beautiful passenger trains forging south. Today is going to all be about passenger trains and getting more cities online. Around this area there is a couple of little towns that are still isolated. They don't have buses or trams or anything else connecting them, no, especially they don't have trains. And we're going to have a fun putting a little spur line. I think it's going to be very mountainous, very windy, so it should be lots of fun. I've got a feeling that this station is where the spur line will come off. Well, let's go pull in and then I'll scroll out a bit. So we have this town here, and it's doing quite well. It's servicing the area and Doorhaven. And around it there is this other town called Merrington. So we've got a train line that goes through here past Bethworth, and then it continues down south into Swinton, and in theory that would be towards London that way. And we want to get Merrington on board. So the options are to kind of leave from here and go this way, or leave from Bessworth. That's another option. And then obviously we can also leave from Hallion. And so, all of those are an option. This station is kind of a little bit far away from our liking. We could peel out of here, and then we could try to rise over this crest, but that's a long way to grow. Even worse if you try to come from here. That's quite a saddle to get up. So I think we're going to need to do it from this direction. The station's over here, which does give us a bit of a chance to walk our way up the hill. We did a little bit of terraforming when we put this in and played with some cragginess, so that might be a way to kind of like help us up the hill. And then what I'm thinking is, you can see it's not too high here, so we'll probably be around this level by the time we're that far from the station. And then unfortunately it does go down again there, so maybe it'll be a turn to the left. I can see a saddle here. I can see it go backwards and forward a bit. There's a bit of a saddle there. Actually, we could use the terrain view to look at that. I'm not sure that's going to help us at all with those trees. It's not really. And then round here, and then slowly make our way up around left or right, whichever way it's going to be, or both. And then somehow make it into here. The town is very downhill. If you look at this spot right here, this is actually a really tempting spot to come through, and we could just carve a pretty big hole through here. The town's got a bit of growth to it, so I think it can sustain some destruction. If we look at this, risky, we only have to service, the town's everywhere really. So you can see the blacks are the people where there's traffic. So I think the town can survive a bit of a bulldoze. I think this might be the opportunity to use a particular mod. So if we go over to Doorhaven and just click on this guy and configure it, we have under Madhatter makes us our beautiful cattle yards. We've been using them at our farm, but he also makes these staircases. And so if I get the right one, you can put them on the end of a platform and use it to climb out of a gully. You can see if I get that to snap. Actually, let me just put that down, we'll see it better. And passengers can walk up and then get up to what risky is a road. And you can see that actually there's sewer grates at the road level. And so I think that is what I'm going to try to do. I've wanted to have an excuse to use these all season, all series. It's been like 50 episodes where I've wanted it. I actually had them enabled right at the start. And so, I think that's the goal over there. We'll do a whole lot of carving and make that happen. My thought process here is to actually give us a fair bit of capacity. Currently, the passenger line comes across to the right side, which is very common for us. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to let it come across to the left. We'll make a very symmetric type of station here. And then we'll make this the alternate. The right hand side will be the alternate for forward when the one from the hills is parked here. So most of the time it will be very efficient and go off forward, and then every once in a while it will scoot across. So let's get that done. We will put some platforms down to make this look nice. I'm noticing my frame rate is slowly dropping whenever we're modifying the map. So whenever it has to calculate a difference, I've noticed that it's a little bit slower these days. So I think we are slowly getting to the point where we're at the end of the series, or at least what we can do from an editing point of view. Once you're not editing, it seems to be okay. I'm getting used to this, how to put them on. And all right, let's get this point work done. So I'm going to delete that for a sec, and that, I'm going to press pause, and that as well. And what I'm going to do is, because there's going to be a off to the left and back to the right, I'm going to make it so we have a straight track and then a bit of a gap, because you need a gap for to get a signal in. And then let's around here have the same length, and then we'll come in, and then where's that spot? That spot is there, and we'll come into the same spot on this side, which I think was around there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's nice to have it kind of symmetrical. And then we'll delete this one, and then we'll have a crossover, which won't be used most of the time. It will be only when things get weird. Try to get the right spot. Come on, let me do it. I might have to do it from out here. There we go. So in theory, ignoring this line, someone can approach the station and they will stop at this signal. We can stop them kind of like back here. Then they will be flagged to go to the left or the right, and that can go there. Most of the time people will fly through, then under here, I'm getting used to this. And then they will have a signal tower telling whether they're going to the left or forward. We won't signal this because it's abnormal. Actually, this is a bit far away. Let me move this forward a bit. Go up to about here. And yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll put in a gantry that's 4 wide. Actually, I'm going to put in the signal first. Real signal, right as close as we can to the station. So, are they both the same? I don't think so, actually. I think I actually got them slightly offline. Actually, I think I got this one close. This one. So that's the first spot. I'm doing it right next to the station because then it makes it look all neat and tidy. We'll put that there. And so they will flag when it's time for them to leave or when it's time to fly past. We need a waypoint that says, hey, by the way, you're going forward or you are coming out into traffic. And then we need a post that's going to have one on either side, and that goes there. So as they leave, that's a signal. Waypoints, this will say left or right, and this will go flying through. So that's that done. And then if you're going backwards for some reason and then flying across for some obscure reason, you will need a signal saying, hey, by the way, you can leave obscurely. And this will be the end of the line. If not, won't. You'll need a join. So where's this point? This point right there. We'll go into there. So that'll come in and everything's great. So have fun with that line right now. So when we're coming from Swinton, the end of the line, we will choose the other platform. There it goes. And then you alternatively can go there, and you can't do the same in the other direction because we don't have a cross here. So if we put a cross here, it should Come on, let me do it. Let me do it. If you've got to be absolutely dead on to its buddy. There it is. Cool. So then, not that's what I want. I want this one, and then manage the line. So inbound, you're going to 1, which is that one, and then alternatively you can go to 2, and on the way back to you can go to 1. Cool. All right, so that's all that done, and signals is good. Let's change this also to a gantry because gantries are cool. And then so this is going to be a signal, and then you can go flying through. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how you do that. And I don't think there's enough space to put in a yellow because it'll go on top. Yeah, see up here, it goes on top of each other, so you can't do that. But yeah, so we'll unpause that. So if we look at all the lines, it looks great. We could, if we really want to be paranoid, we could put in the entry and exit signs to force them down the middle, but that's for another day. All right, let's head off into the mountains. So what I'm going to do, I'm pretty sure this is going to be single track. So we'll come out level. I'm going to make myself basically a bit of a yard here. And I'm going to come off here. And we are going to squeeze into there. Can I do that? Somewhere around there, please. Actually, around there's good. And so when they come down the mountain, they'll come into here, and then this is just going to be the only passing lane, so it's not going to be that big. And then we'll do a little bit more here. Don't go uphill yet because we need just enough space for a passing lane. And then hopefully that's going to be the length of a train. I think that's 80 meters because this is going to be a small train. And then that way, basically from this point all the way over to Meriton, it's going to be single track. Let's start to climb. So do we want rusty rails? No, we're using real rails. I think we're using rails that are good. All right. We are going to choose 2 notches up because I'm going to be realistic, because I've got a feeling if I drag this over here, are we anywhere close to where we need to be in the middle of town? So if we go to here, for example, yeah, so even with 2 notches up, we are still subterranean. So the way you fix that is just to make it longer. Simply go longer and longer and longer. So we basically need nearly twice that distance. So basically we're going to go left then right, right then left, and work it out. So all right, let's find a nice path. There happens to be a nice natural curve here. I'm going to choose 60. Am I going to choose 60 as my minimum radius, or am I going to choose 50? Let's choose 60 by default, but if things get crazy, we can do 50. All right, so what I'm looking for here is a point on the hill that makes sense. So basically where we're kind of at grade, because really what I want is the hill to come down and then a natural point, which is, where are you? About there. And let's go open air. We'll carve that out and off we go. So that was a bit of a weird drag. So Are we still kind of at grade here? Yeah, that's kind of okay. Do we want a tunnel anywhere? I'm going to say no for now, but what we might do is when we come back and look at all the training, I might delete some track and then put some dirt there and then put a tunnel in. So where's the hill? So where are we? Where are we? All right, the saddle's there. We need to get some distance. So we need to go forward then back again. So I'm tempted to kind of, we're heading that way. So I'm tempted to come over this way and do a U-turn, like probably like an S, like we want to get, yeah, one turn that way, one turn to the left, and that should give us distance. So it looks like the terrain around here is pretty harsh. I actually might bring this back a little bit and turn slightly earlier. Yeah, so let's do, yeah, I think 50 is going to become our standard. Don't do that. Oh, did that last one go downhill? I don't remember. But just in case I have messed it up, let's make sure it didn't. 1, 2. So I wonder if it's worth deleting all the trees, just to see what we're doing, but that's kind of not any fun, is it? Yes, it's, yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. Just playing it by ear. Hopefully it's enjoyable to watch. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we want to go forward a bit. Let's try that. Let's see where that takes us. And then I still want to do a U-turn to get some distance. Where's that saddle? It's over there. Okay. So if we go over here, it gets very deep. So we're going to have to do a U-turn pretty soon. So let's do 70. And then it's time to come around. And how are we for height? Oh, actually, we have a problem. So, okay, that's kind of cool. Okay. Are we too high? We're not too high. Is it growing to our right? Yeah, so now we're getting deep. What's that number? Let's do a 60. Yeah, that works, I think. And then, all right, so now we've hit a ravine. So it looks like we're on the right-hand side of the valley here. Man, I hope we've climbed enough. We haven't really snaked much, have we? We've added, yeah, we've added a little bit. I think maybe we should have come around there to get some more. I was kind of hoping to, yeah, be much more like that. If we go now, is it too late? I think it may be. Yeah, yeah, maybe we came too far into the valley. It's pretty easy to put all the trees back. Yeah. By the way, if you hold down shift while you're deleting track, it will continue to only delete track rather than try to hit trees. So yeah, once you've got one piece deleted, it works quite well. So yeah, nice little trick that. Let's go. Where am I going? Where am I going? I want to be more this way so I have time to come back. But I'm very high in the air. I think that first path wasn't actually that bad from a height point of view because it's so... Yeah, I think this wasn't too bad. Let's do this again. But let's turn back to the left maybe earlier. And Yeah, so... Yeah, I think I might do a little bit of terraforming to deal with that. And so... Yeah, I want to be a little bit more on the hill. Let's go over here, so we're at ground height. Yeah, so I'm still a little bit high here. I want to be... Yeah, looks like we're on a bit of a flat area here. Yeah. Where's some hill? Give me some hill. Maybe we have to come this way. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. You might be might have noticed that. I'm just, quite frankly, I'm just having fun. It's, yeah, it is fun to try to find the right way through these terrains. You know what? Where we were at initially wasn't that bad. Yeah, it wasn't actually that bad. Why do you want to be... Well, there could be a cheeky little bridge. That could be part of this. So... Or am I just kind of trying to go the wrong way? Maybe I should be trying to go this way. Yeah. I think I'm just trying to turn around the valley too early. Come on, where's the terrain? There we go, there we go. Somewhere over there. Yeah, something like that. I think maybe I should be down here on the ground level a bit more often. And if I come this way... Yeah, it's too hilly still. So let's do our last rise this way. Then we'll do a 180 and come back that way. So something like that. Oh, there's a tunnel. No, that's not going to work. Yeah, I'm not going back on myself. That's not happening. Well, that saddle right there is quite shallow, so hopefully we can work that out. I got a feeling we should have come, like, we should be going this way. Hold down shift as I do it. Yeah, we really need to be doing this. Something like that. The problem is I can't really come from this direction because I don't know what height we'll be at. So, yeah, all right, let's keep on trying to do this. I'm pretty sure this way is the way to do it. And out of interest, if I just go across the valley on a trestle, how long are we doing that for? We do a straight trestle. Yeah, trestles probably should be straight. Yeah. Yeah, they should be straight both horizontally and also linearly. Yeah, so they shouldn't gain height. Let's make that even. Cute trestle. Please let me turn. Haha. We actually may have solved this. How's that from a height point of view? That's pretty good. Holding 50. Ooh, are we going to make it? Oh, we're getting really close. Let's try that direction. Or maybe we can get one more loop in. So that is grade there. And you know what? One little tunnel may not be the worst thing in the world. So how are we with grade? Have we made it? Oh, that looks close. That looks really close. There we go. So we are down by not much. I think Yeah, it's like a meter underneath there. Nice. All right. So I'm thinking, sorry, town, this is the point where you get forcibly... Oh, okay. Let's do it. I'm going to destroy everything. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to get rid of that. And my goal is... So there's another town. Which direction was it? I saw it. Yeah, over here. Puttery. So there's a natural train line through there. I'm going to press pause so people don't rebuild. Cost me more money. Yeah, there's a natural train line through there. So I'm thinking through here and then out through there. So you need to go away. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is insane. And we'll use a round brush, and the train line is going to be through here somehow. Yeah. There's a weird texture on this area. We'll definitely need to do something about that. And then round the corner somehow. And all right, let's do the texture thing first. So goodbye texture. Get rid of all that. I mean, the map maker did make a interesting choice there. I think it's maybe represents a golf course or something. So yeah, we'll get rid of, clear up all that. And this house is causing that. That's causing that. That's causing that. Ooh, man, I hope this town survives. So the goal is to put a bridge across. And you know what? Is this town even going to survive? Ugh. Yes. Oh man, I hope I am not destroying so much that this doesn't work anymore. All right, so the town is going to be much higher than that, I'm guessing. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is the whole town is going to be this high, and the train line will sit in a valley. Oh, this is a big change. Now we can futz with the height right now, so let's get that track in and work out what height we've actually achieved. So we're going to go this direction, and we'll get to grade there. So let's come across probably a little bit sooner, and 1 2, whoops, 1 2, and oh, we are still very low. All right, and then this is all going to be like this. I'm going to say build anyway. You can go away. And all right, so we need to get quite low here. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is say that this point is grade. That is very deep still very deep. Yes. All right, let's work out what a station looks like. So you need to go, and you need to go. Oh wow, this is not good. We only need one track. It's going to be 80 meters, tiny. No, nothing. Okay. My goal is to actually put the platform in the middle, so maybe we can do it way down here. And yeah, so my plan is you don't need to have a building on it. That's just purely extra capacity. And you need to be one of these. It's going to be a harsh end. That needs to be a curve end, because you'll see why in a sec. And there's our two platforms. And then we finally get to put down this Madhatter thing. And that is them going to be leaving. And then you are going to leave horizontal. You are going to leave horizontal. Actually, I'm going to come back a bit. We're going to need to do a curve here. And you are going to go that way, horizontal. And then, you know what? This needs to be shorter again. Yeah, there's not much space here. And then you're going to merge into there. All right. Okay, it's time to get this road across. I've been trying to do this for literally a couple of hours now, and I think I've got the technique down. On the store page, there is actually a link to the creator's YouTube channel where they do show how to do it, and I do agree that it seems to be the correct way, but sometimes it doesn't just work, and I'll show you what I mean. So what you need to do is start in the middle, and so the edge of the door there is where the blue line needs to line up, and it will automatically get the height right. But you can see that it wants to do dirt a lot. The thing that I was struggling with, and the thing I've just worked out what to do, is what you need to do is set your strength to tiny and use the down tool and do the smallest of dells. And then we're going to copy that slightly lower level out. Now, it will cause a slight little dell in the bridge pillars, but we won't see that. But what it does mean is this thing can now happily dock. I'm using this wider bridge because I'm pretty sure it's going to get busy. And what I want is the blue line to be just in front of that like threshold. And then we're going to go sideways, change it to the bridge we want. And then this is the trick. You want to start in the middle and work your way out. Try to get it at 180 degrees, like, 90 degrees to there. There's no snapping here to help you. And then what you want to do is choose a consistent distance. So I'm choosing 20 meters here. I'm going to do that on one side, and it will snap. If you put the mouse right on the front corner, it will snap. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other direction. We'll go out to 20 meters, and then 180. Same bridge type, of course, and then also make sure that it's still level. And this is the part that you got to be particular about. Once you want to transition to dirt, you need to make sure that it's straight, so that's 180 for example. I'm going to go out to 50 meters, so we've got lots of space here. And it's critical that you change this to be the dirt now. Otherwise, you're continuing the bridge. And what happens is this piece of road continues and ends up being a connection between this node and that node. And you can't re-separate the bridge. That's the part that I was struggling with. So once you've got that right, and we'll do it out the other side, we'll do 50 meters, 180, and it's level. Remember to change this and press go. So now you'll see that you've got pillars that go either side of the tracks quite nicely. It's kind of centered on this. Now it's not perfect. And I think there's also a slight rotation to this, which actually is okay because we are going to turn left. But yeah, that's how you do it. And now we can go back to putting this around the corner. And let's do, I don't know, we'll do 70. It doesn't really matter. And then same with this. I'm going to go around the corner. And we'll probably redo those, but they will go around the corner and turn into a tunnel. Actually, we can do that now. And I'm just going to do it from way out here. And we need to go straight first under that tunnel. Now, because we dipped the ground down a little bit, we do have a micro amount of dip here. You can see how it goes down there, but it's nothing to, and also there's a bit of a dell here, but nothing to worry about. Same thing goes with here. We may actually be able to push it up a little bit now. Yeah, there we go. So, and then once we've got that level up, we're good. But yeah, those pillars need to be down in the ground by about a foot. That's the trick. So to finish the episode, because of all the planning I've just done, I know what I want to do here. So the plan at this end is to come out level, and we'll do that on both sides. So this one's going to extend through further, and then I'm going to use the fact that a station is 1 track wide, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to bring in the track like that. That's fine. This side, same place, and we're going to delete that, and now, that's a bit long, that one. We'll go to about there. And the plan is for trains to come in on the left and go through, and vice versa. There'll be the train that comes this way and through. And if there's a need to put it into a siding, they'll come opposite traffic, and then they'll park in this siding. I think I might make this a little bit longer. And then we'll make the siding a little bit more. And then to finish this off, we'll put a road in. Much like before, I'm going to use the angles given to me here to make sure that I've got something decent before we start climbing. And we'll call this the end of the episode. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that track laying exercise. It definitely tested my patience a little bit, both on and off camera. This episode has taken about 4 hours of prep and practice and various other things, just so you get an idea sometimes how long these things take. But yeah, don't forget to press subscribe so you can see the combination of this as we detail this area and make it come to life, and we'll get buses and everything else going around here locally and re-establish the town. And then maybe next episode will include the spur line over to Pottery. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Great Western Railway. See you, everybody.